Maligayang pagdating sa Museo ng Muntinlupa!
Ang Museo ng Muntinlupa ay pinasinayaan noong ika-1 ng Marso taong 2019. Ito ay matatagpuan sa Centennial Avenue, Barangay Tunasan, lungsod ng Muntinlupa. Ang museo ay may 5 palapag, may mga espasyo para sa mga eksibisyon at pagtitipon. Tara, samahan niyo kami sa paglibot sa ating museo.
May 3 permanent galleries ang matatagpuan sa museo na tumatalakay sa kasaysayan ng Muntinlupa. Narito tayo ngayon sa Buhay Gallery kung saan pinapakita kung ano nga ba ang buhay sa Muntinlupa bago ang kolonyalismo hanggang sa panahon ng mga Kastila. Bago naman tayo dumako sa ating ikalawang gallery, ay madadaanan muna natin ang isang tunnel. Ang tunnel na ito ang nagpapakita kung ano nga ba ang itsura ng Muntinlupa at ng buong Pilipinas noong panahon ng mga Amerikano. Sa paglipas ng panahon, unti-unting umunlad ang Muntinlupa. Naging bahagi ito ng iba't ibang probinsya at naging ganap ng munisipalidad noong 1917. Dahil malapit ang Muntinlupa sa Maynila, nilipat dito ang ilang mga importanteng institusyon gaya ng malalaking laboratorio at pambansang piitan.
Noong dekada 60, naging parte ng industrialisasyon ang Muntinlupa na pinagtibay pa ng pagbubukas ng South Superhighway na ngayon ay tinatawag natin South Luzon Expressway. Ika-1 ng Marso taong 1995 nang idineklara ang Muntinlupa bilang isang highly urbanized city sa pamamagitan ng Republic Act 7926. Ang patuloy na pag-unlad ng Muntinlupa ay dahil sa mga responsable nitong mamamayan at epektibong pamamahala.
Museo ng Muntinlupa was envisioned by Mayor Jaime R. Fresnedi long before the celebration of the city centennial in 2017. Ang Muntinlupa ay tahanan ng mga aspiring artists at makulay na kasaysayan. Kaya naman ipinatayo ng ating butihing mayor ang Museo ng Muntinlupa upang mas pagyamanin, bigyang higit halaga at buhayin ang kasaysayan, kultura at sining, hindi lamang ng ating lungsod, ngunit ng ating bansa.
Ang pagdidisenyo ng isang museo ay malaking hamon bilang isang arkitekto. Natatangi ang mga museo dahil kailangan itong ipakita at ipagmalaki ang mayamang kultura at kasaysayan ng lungsod. Ang konsepto ng Museo ng Muntinlupa ay hango sa baklad. Karaniwan, ito ay makikita sa lawa ng Laguna de Bae. Ang Museo ng Muntinlupa ang magbibigay daan sa pagpapakilala ng mayamang sining, kultura at arkitektura ng ating lungsod.
Makikita sa palapag na ito ang mga changing exhibitions ng ating museo.
ang Munting Bata Exhibit at ang Lumpiang Lungsod Exhibit. Ang nag-curate ng mga ito ay ang aming founding director na si Miss Charissa Quinotogade. Ang Munting Bata Exhibit ay nagbukas noong 2019 kasabay ng pagpapasinayang sa ating museo. Ito ay nagkukwento tungkol sa dalawang magkababata na kapwa lumaki sa Muntinlupa.
Ipamamala sa Luntiang Lungsod Exhibit ang mayamang biodibersidad ng Muntinlupa. Ipakikita rito ang iba't ibang klase ng mga hayop sa lungsod, mga uri ng lupa, mga anyong tubig, halaman at iba pa. Magpapakita rin dito ng mga paraan upang mapangalagaan ang ating biodibersidad at kapaligiran.
Apart from the galleries, the museum also hosts a conference center and a state-of-the-art museum theater. This theater can host film showings and performances. Again, we would like to thank you for joining us on the Museo ng Muntinlupa virtual tour. We hope to see you soon once the museum opens.
Hello and welcome to the third installment of Art Made Public. This March, we celebrate Women's Month and the empowered individuals who make change happen. March also marks the deadline of entries for the MADE recognition programs. We hope your artworks are all ready and don't miss out on the chance to be a MADE awardee and be known as one of the most promising young artists of the year. Since 1984, the Metrobank Art and Design Excellence has served as a platform to recognize the excellence of young Filipino artists. MADE is also dedicated to contributing to the development of Philippine art and design through education. As we welcome another year in the new normal, we open with the theme Emerge, Step into Your Boundless Future. Emerge is our call to action for artists to rise and take back their power to create. It is an invitation to step out of the shadows and explore the boundless potential in the world of art. We believe that the future is creative and it is in your hands. This year, MADE resumes the search for talented young artists whose works echo the spirit of Filipino creativity. For those who are interested in joining the painting competition, please watch this next video.
Welcome to the annual nationwide Visual Arts and Design program of the Metrobank Foundation. The Metrobank Art and Design Excellence. MADE. Recognizing outstanding visual narratives of Filipino artists since 1984. Open to Filipino painters. 18 to 35 years old. No solo exhibition yet. MADE accepts only one entry in one category. Oil or acrylic on canvas. Or water media on paper. Not eligible. Former awardees of the Young Painters Annual or MADE Painting Recognition Program. Chairperson and members of the current Board of Judges and immediate family members. To submit the artwork, follow these guidelines. Size: between 18 by 24 and 36 by 48 inches. Weight: maximum of 17 kilos with frame. Frame: artwork to be framed with hanging provisions. Frame and matting, maximum 5 inches. Don't glue canvas on wood. Originality: only original work accepted. Copies of existing works are disqualified. Credits: links and photos related to art must be submitted. Actual entry: please do not sign the actual artwork and ensure it has not been entered in any competition. There will be 2 grand awardees who will receive the following prizes. Cash incentive. Artistic Development Fund. MADE Network of Winners, MADE Now membership. Eligibility for a grant for first solo exhibit. Press releases and media visits nationwide. Featured in MADE and Metrobank Foundation collaterals, newsletters, and social media channels. Special citation. Special citation is a recognition granted to selected works that is subject to the discretion of the judging body. Special citation winners, if any, will receive the following prizes. Cash incentive. MADE Network of Winners, MADE Now membership. Eligibility for grant for first solo exhibit. Press releases and media visits nationwide. featured in Made and Metrobank Foundation collaterals, newsletters, and social media channels. 10 national finalists will be selected and will receive the following prizes: cash incentive, plaque of recognition, featured in Made and Metrobank Foundation collaterals, newsletters, and social media channels. Join now!
If you have any questions about how to join the painting competition, just send us a message, leave a comment here, or visit themadeartdepot.ph. Moving on to sculpture. The sculpture competition is open to Filipino citizens aged 18 years old by March 31 and 50 years old by September 22. Beginners and mid-level artists are welcome to join. Entrants may submit one original freestanding sculpture made of any sculptural material except organic or ephemeral materials. The entry must be a minimum of 1 foot in height, 1 foot in width, and 1 foot in length, and a maximum of 2 feet in height, 2 feet in width, and 2 feet in length. The entry should not weigh more than 40 kilos, including the base. For sculpture, one grand awardee will be chosen to receive a cash prize of 500,000 pesos, Metrobank Foundation's institutional trophy, membership to the MADE network of winners, nationwide media features, and opportunity to submit your entry. Go to our website and click Submit Your Entry at the top of the page. Make sure to choose the correct entry form for your category. Fill out the form and submit the requirements at hello@madeartdepot.ph. For the complete guidelines, please visit themadeartdepot.ph. So don't forget that our deadline of entries is also March 31. Aside from the prizes, MADE also provides its winners with the opportunity to make their debut through the Winners Exhibition every September. The works from this year's awardees will be put on display for the public to enjoy. This is our way of helping our awardees realize that there is a vibrant future for young artists in the arts. MADE also travels all over the Philippines to bring its collection of winning works closer to the public. And thanks to technology, we are able to continue this tradition even during a pandemic. This year, we present Thriving in the Midst, Leading the Ascent, a virtual exhibition of 99 MADE winning artworks over the past 38 years, curated by Mr. Alain Zedric Camiling.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we all landed well in 2022, staying safe and healthy. I'd like to begin this short tour by thanking Metrobank Art and Design Excellence team for having me as curator of the online exhibition component in line with Art Made Public 2022. The title of this exhibition is Thriving in the Midst, Leading the Ascent. It's partially lifted from then Metrobank Foundation Chairman George SKT's message for the 2000 National Painting Competition Catalog of the Metrobank Foundation, where he shared about art being alive and thriving in our midst, and having a significant role in the evolution of our social and cultural character. It's also prudent to mention that the National Painting Competition was introduced in 1984 to engage the youth in a positive endeavor amid the political and economic chaos that the Philippines was in at that time. This competition perhaps was the beginning of all these. In the recent article I wrote, I actually threw in a question by the end of the review dedicated to all artists, practitioners, and professionals across the visual arts ecosystem. The line goes, why are we doing this and who are we doing it for? I find this a very crucial question that we must keep in mind in our everyday as artistic and creative practitioners. Simply put, bakit natin ito ginagawa at para kanino ito? I wanted to begin with this question because nagsisimula ito sa ating lahat, which then translates and creates a ripple effect on what we do. What drives us in this complicated and vast world, despite the struggle we encounter in the everyday? For the exhibition, the materiality of these struggles and circumstances remain vivid and diverse, considering we all express, perhaps respond, and experience many things on a day-to-day basis. These eventually trigger us to reappraise or reevaluate possibilities and decisions on and for ourselves across different contexts connected to our everyday. I reflect, how does one thrive in the midst and lead their ascent? Paano tayo nakakaraos at bumabangon? In this exhibition, the works echo effectual and optimistic articulations and assessments. These are interrelated with various social, cultural, and personal factors, among many others, despite many things. These works are also indicative of the artist's tenacity, or I must say, their desire for growth, along with the surmounting impediments across the artistic and creative practice and process. The works can also be a testament of how these artists carve their way through the art scene as alumni of the Metrobank Art and Design Excellence through the years. The show posits as the first of its kind exhibition of the selected winning works from the painting and sculpture recognition programs of the Foundation from 1984 to 2021, which signifies its unwavering commitment to supporting the visual arts sector through the years in various projects, initiatives, and activities. I echo humanistic psychologist Dr. Carl Rogers when he argues that our primal motive as individuals is to actually fulfill one's potential and achieve the highest level of our human beingness or ourselves in his study on self-actualization. This is rooted from a recognition that each person strives to be creative and fully functioning, perhaps having a constant desire to reach our potentials. This act of striving is actually characterized by an actualizing tendency, something that pushes us or someone towards growth, primarily because of its nature as ongoing and dynamic, motivational, and innate. On a similar note, I also echo Dr. Paul Stoltz. He's a leading scholar in grit, resilience, and adversity quotient when he explicates that fulfillment is achieved by relentless dedication to the ascent, a process or progressing through one's lifelong mission. Through these lenses, the 2022 Metrobank Art and Design Excellence theme, Emerge Art in Your Own Terms, is dissected into three things in relation to first, one's viscerality. This is something inward, something instinctive. What actually matters to you? Why? What are things deep-rooted in our beings? Second, as I've mentioned, self-actualization, something that is on the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Us having a sense of our full potentials, self-cultivation through varied involvements and experiences in the everyday. Where do we actually go from each fault and limitation? Third, a spirited journey. I ask, how do we respond to dynamic situations and complexities of the everyday, geared towards growth and self-development as creative and artistic practitioners? The exhibition is an empowering action to rise, perhaps leading the ascent. It's a purposive invitation to define and create through creative and artistic endeavors, emerging towards the new, and most of all, something that echoes our spirited challenge in the everyday, to innovate and revamp, emerging from the old, thriving in the midst. Some of the artists who have been part of MAID's recognition programs in this exhibition have been exceptional in their own way and actively participating in the arts ecosystem in both local and international contexts, like Anton Del Castillo, Elmer Borlongan, Alfredo Esquillo, Manny Garibay, Roberto Fileo, Toym Imao, Mark Justiniani, Leslie De Chavez, Sam Penaso, among many others. Lastly, in this exhibition, I hope we all be reminded that our journey as creative and artistic practitioners are as dynamic as the everyday. It's not always perfect, but surely it's geared towards something productive, something meaningful, and something that could potentially change and inspire the self, the others, and the world positively. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy viewing the exhibition and the discussion this afternoon.
Thriving in the Midst, Leading the Ascent runs until December 22, 2022, and is available for viewing at our website at madeartdepot.ph. Visit the exhibit to enjoy 99 made winning works that tell the story of the Filipino people. These winning works showcase both excellence in technique and social relevance. Art and artists have always been at the forefront of progress, and you too can become a part of it. Today, we sit down with three changemakers who use art and creativity to make this world a better place. Our first guest is artist healer Ea Torrado. Ea's art and healing practices are intertwined in such a way that they are one and the same. She explores the human body as a vessel to access inner truth and a higher, more conscious version of the self through Daloy movement, an embodied and evolving free-form embodiment practice that attempts to get the body in a state of flow. She was awarded the Alvin Erasca Tolentino Choreografía Award in 2014, the Remedios de Oteza Award for Choreography in 2016, and Asian Cultural Council Grant in 2017 for her directorial and choreographic work with Daloy. Ea also guides people towards intuitive and integrative wellness through meditation, tarot, Reiki, and rituals. Joining today's discussion is artist and CEO of Greenstone Pharma and Gut Heart Foundation, Melissa Yeung. Melissa is a Tarlac-based artist who has been exhibiting around the world for the past 10 years. She believes in art as a medium to uplift and inspire. She collaborates with underappreciated artisans across the Philippines and looks into how she can incorporate their craft into her art to create inspiring and modern art pieces. The proceeds of her art sales go towards sustainable and developing indigenous communities and artisanry. Melissa has been the CEO of Greenstone Pharma, known as Katinko, for 13 years and is the founder of Gut Heart Group of social enterprises, including Gut Heart Shops, which sell products of micro-entrepreneur and cooperatives, the Earth Kitchen, a farm-to-table restaurant, and the Gut Heart Gallery. Our third guest for today is Precious Eric Iñosa, a museum practitioner, cultural worker, and educator. At present, she leads the direction of Museo ng Muntinlupa. Their team championed the #Museo from Screen campaign of the Museo to cope with the pandemic. She is also an educator in Colegio de Muntinlupa, teaching general education subjects. Outside her day job, she is establishing different organizations for the promotion and preservation of culture and the arts, which are all launching this year. She graduated with honors from the University of the Philippines, Manila, with a degree in Philippine Arts, major in Arts Management and Cultural Heritage. She is currently taking the Juris Doctor program of San Beda College, Alabang School of Law. Thank you, Ea, Melissa, and Precious for being here. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Happy Women's Month to all the ladies out there and of course to our panel. So let's get right into our kwentuhan for this afternoon. No? So as we begin, let's deep dive into some of our memories and some of our internal energies. So I'd like to ask, can you tell us the story of how did you get into the arts or into your current practice? Let's start with Ea.
Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon. I'm here, I'm in La Union. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, Metrobank Arts and Design Excellence for this platform. And for me, what a nice way to kind of celebrate Women's Month and to meet Melissa and Precious for the first time and just have this time to share stories. So in Lalaine naman, I've known from Daloy Dance Company. Like we have danced in some of the Made Awards pre-pandemic. So a little bit of a background. How did I get into the arts? I was 7 years old when I started my first classical ballet class, and then I was a scholar with Ballet Manila with Lisa Makuha, and I danced with the company professionally for many years in Ballet Manila, and then eventually Ballet Philippines. It was around 8 years ago that I formed Daloy Dance Company, which is an independent dance collective wherein I've explored becoming a contemporary choreographer and and establishing a practice that is mainly located in Manila. So Daloy Dance Company was based in Manila. Around the same time that I formed Daloy, and Daloy is Tagalog word for flow. I was really trying to investigate um, how to move the body from the performative body on stage or using the body just for performance, and how to get into the wisdom of the body, and how to use dance as a healing practice and make it accessible not only to dancers, not only people in the arts or theater, but also to non-dancers or people who claim they have two left feet. So that had been, I think part of my advocacy, and especially because of the pandemic na um, we're all online, and I just felt that people needed more help in terms of mental wellness and emotional health. And I got more and more into meditation, and particularly dance, meditation and energy healing. And also before the pandemic, right before, I'm really lucky that I've moved here in La Union. So there's just parang my studio, my rehearsal space, or even my theater was from the theater and rehearsal space to just the sea. And there's a lot of deepening into that practice of healing, and how also connected physical health with planetary health, and how our bodies are so connected to the earth as a body. Um, so yun yung background ko, which is from dance, and led me to um, advocating for mental health, emotional health, and at the same time, um, for nature, anything that's for Mother Nature, because we all know we're in the middle of a climate crisis. So that's a little bit of a background about me.
Thank you for that. Later, we'll discover more about your journey in using the body movement and your art, dance, in relation to the healing practice, and in relation to connecting with the community as well. So I see in the panel the next photo that we're going to ask Melissa. Please do share with our audience, how did you get into the arts, and a little bit of a background about yourself as well.
Hi, Louise. Hi, everyone. Happy Women's Month. So it's nice to be here now. So I started as a young child because I'm the only girl in the family, and also amongst cousins, I'm the only girl. So I can't really go wrestling with the boys. So I'm usually in a corner, drawing and painting. And then when I got to Ika, my school, I had a really cool art teacher who was super encouraging. So my works would always be posted in the bulletin board. So it's always it's like my little exhibit. So, and then when I was around 13, I was playing soccer, but I got injured. So there was nothing I could do that summer. All of my playmates were playing in the field, and I couldn't even look at the soccer field because it was so depressing not to get to play. So I enrolled in an art workshop, and the same thing happened. My art teachers just gave me free classes, free use of the studio, because they said they really believed in me. So it was really encouraging. Unfortunately, for college, the usual story where I wasn't allowed to take up fine arts. So I just kept on pursuing, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience would be able to relate. And like what Aya said earlier, I have two left feet also. So I can't dance, I can't sing, I can't act. So I'm kind of I'm afraid of the stage. But art is something that I could do on my own time, and it can later. I'm currently in 3035 Ravine. I'm opening the exhibit later for art fair. So at least I don't have to dance and sing. It's there. The works are there already. I can just chill and talk to you guys now. So it's something that I really love. And there, just move to it. So it's really a healing. Art is a form of healing for me. So it's every time there's a chance, like during the Yolanda, I went there to talk to create art workshops with the kids, and then Marawi during the war, we taught art for the kids to give them that outlet. to be able to express themselves, because it's really hard to be traumatized. It's so hard to talk in a conventional way when you're traumatized. And I just felt like it was exactly like what happened to me when I was injured and I was 13 and things like that. So until now, it's something that's really providing some sort of healing for me and also the communities around during this pandemic. So yeah, my story.
Thank you, Melissa. I love how in the different art practices of our guests, no, it's really intrinsic and at the same time with the help of the community that make us, led us to where we are now. And so let's go to Precious. Do let us know kamusta and how did you get into the arts and what is your background? Parang maraming hashtag relate dito sa courses in the art conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Before I start, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers from wherever you are in the world. Thank you to Metrobank Art and Design Excellence for this platform, for this opportunity. What a way to celebrate Women's Month nga talaga. So I got into the arts. I was in grade school pa, so I used to attend theater workshops, and then when I was in high school, I joined our high school chorale. So in that chorale, we would compete internationally and locally. But then for the last couple of international competitions, I was not able to join that because I was already in college. So fast forward to college. I was telling Lalaine and Aya about this, Melissa, yesterday. So when I was about to apply for for college, so I have the application form in my hand, and I told my parents, I want to go to theater arts. I want to enroll to theater arts in UP Diliman. But then, as usual, my parents told the magical four words, walang pera sa arts. Okay. So it's like my fate has been sealed now. Okay, walang pera sa arts, let's not go into the arts. They wanted me to become a doctor. So I kind of rebelled na, okay, what course should I want to get in to UP? Yeah. So nag-ini, mini, miny, mo talaga ako sa application form. It's in my hand. Okay, ini, mini, miny, mo, anong course ang pupuntahan ko? Ayaw nilang, gusto nila mag-doktor ako. So I picked occupational therapy. So that was my first choice of course and my first choice of campus, so which was UP Manila. But then a semester into OT, occupational therapy, my heart wasn't really there. Parang I was craving for something, I was looking for something that it's not there. Because hindi ko talaga kaya maging doktor. Mainly because takot ako sa dugo. So I told my parents, please allow me to shift na. Okay, you don't want to shift me. You don't want to have me go to Diliman. Okay, I understand that. But here is another course in UP Manila, which is called Philippine Arts. It's kind of the same, but not so much. Still, may mga drama classes, film classes, music. So that okay na rin. So after 4 years in UP Manila, I graduated, and then a family friend, I think she was a cousin of my father, she told me, now, why don't you apply for the city government? There's a cultural and tourism office there. And they need cultural workers because parang wala pa masyado. And then, so I applied. After a few months in the office, I was told na may museum na ginagawa sa Muntinlupa, sa isang barangay sa Muntinlupa. And then ako, wala naman ako masyado talagang background sa museum because it's not my major. Sabi nga ni Lalaine, my major was Cultural Heritage and Arts Management. So it's not really museology or museum studies. So I grabbed the opportunity. I was up for the challenge. Okay, let's do this. Mag-museum tayo kahit wala tayong masyadong experience sa background na ito. Baka mamaya meron pala tayong magawa, ma-contribute to the community. So since 2017, I was already working for the museum, although we launched in 2019. And then up until now, I'm still here. I'm actually right here, right now, in the museum, in one of our rooms in the Museo ng Muntinlupa. So yeah, that is our museum facade. It's a 5-story building. Sobrang supportive ng government ng Muntinlupa sa culture and arts. And then last year, I was also invited to teach in Colegio de Muntinlupa. So right now, I'm teaching general education subjects, one of which is art appreciation. So, and aside from that,
I am also launching organizations with several of my colleagues na sana magawa na rin namin this year kasi sobrang busy namin pare-pareho. But yeah, that is how I got into the arts.
Thank you for that sharing. Going from past to present. So, kamustahin naman natin, how did you end up where you are now? It was a long journey starting from most of us college, choosing a course in the arts, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching right now, nandun din sila at that point na pinili yung fine arts o hindi napili ang fine arts pero gusto bumalik sa arts. So let us unpack the journey from then and until now. How did you get to where you are now? What is the journey? Are there shifts that you and choices that you had to make? This is something na makakatulong sa mga young artists then or creative practitioners, you know, when you're faced with life-changing decisions, choices that will most probably change your future, and listening from those who made the brave choice to choose a creative and art-led life. Do let us know your story about your journey. How did you reach your current practice, and what were some of the shifts or decisions that you had to make that you felt were life-changing? Sige, i-unpack na natin. Simulan na natin ulit kay Ea. Ano yung mga, especially moving from, you know, the city practice to La Union and forming or being one with another community of creatives in La Union. How was it? Do narrate your story for us.
Well, it's a very personal decision because my partner lives here. And in 2019, even though me and the dance company have a lot of shows and rehearsals in Manila, every month I come here for several days. So that's already, you know, parang my connection with the land. So when I knew na haka-haka pa lang na Duterte is going to declare a lockdown, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be locked down in Manila. I'm gonna move to La Union, you know, and so yun, so napaka-personal. But I think before that, and especially if we have a lot of viewers who are younger or in their early 20s, and are experiencing resistance, especially from their family members, you know, because of that old myth. Alam mo yun, that I would say also has some truth to it na yun na walang pera sa arts or that you can't do arts. Like, I just want to say na even 16 years ago when I was 20, you know, it's the same. Like my family, we were poor. My mom was an OFW. Kumbaga talagang pinaglaban ko na, take me to ballet lessons. Like, maglalayas ako pag di niya pinagballet. Yung ganong level na I had to fight so that they keep buying me point shoes. They keep buying me tights, ganyan. And we all know that it's expensive. You know, ballet is expensive, ganyan. So yun, so it was really a lot of resistance, but bata pa lang ako, then I guess personality ko rin talaga yun na the more that you tell me no and I want something, like I'm gonna do it. That's it. Yun. So yeah, I just did that. You know, my mom forever was like, you have to take, may time yun eh, nun, di ba? You have to take nursing kasi nagna-nurse lahat. Ganyan. So, computer na, so mo mag-computer. So anyway, so I never worked you know, on nursing or computers, but I had to do college and I had to take up computer science. And every morning I would shower. We're touring na abroad. We're tired, you know. When you do ballet, it's 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours of you're literally just rehearsing, ganyan. And then you have to go to school. But when I shower in the morning, it's like, I love my mama, I love my mama, I love my mama. Just so I could bring myself to school because I don't want to go to school, ganyan. Parang I kept telling her that my life is the dance world. That's it. This is my life already. But iba yun sa mundo nila eh. Like, they just don't see that as being financially sustainable. And like, I hated them so much. And I'm like, I'm gonna prove that you're wrong. And that had been, you know, my guiding light that, you know, I'm gonna prove, I'm gonna make it on my own, I'm gonna stand on my 2 feet financially, I'm gonna be in the Philippines and abroad. And yeah, so I guess, alam mo yun, parang you just have to really, really want it, ganyan. But in the latter years, like in the last 5 or 7 years, and when I started to have my own company, parang you'll really also see that gosh, it's systemic. The system has to change from the inside out. Like, there has to be better valuation for the arts talaga. Ganyan. And also, I would say, iba na rin ngayon. Alam mo yun, there's more awareness now. There's more people becoming confident and having our digital lives and our digital communities. But I would say that even more, if you're interested in the arts, in any field in the arts, study it, pursue it, because more jobs are gonna open. I feel in the future, we have the NFT world now. There's arts in the NFT, and yeah, parang nagiging decentralized na rin from Manila, local practitioners and creatives. Like, you can have a fulfilling artistic practice even though you're not in Manila, or you can go abroad, or you can work from home. Yung parang ganun, I'm seeing it as these are all opportunities. Ganyan. We have Toff de Venecia, who's a good friend and also from the theater arts, and we've collaborated several times with with the dance company, and now he's in the Congress and submitting all of these law for just better situation for artists in the Philippines, from healthcare to a more stable income, yung mga ganyan. So ayun, I just want to say that you can do it. You can do it. If you really like it, do it. That's it.
Hashtag fighting. It's a good narrative not to look into how, yes, number one, you start with making a choice, choosing to be an art practitioner, choosing to be a creative, leading this life. And another important nugget of wisdom from what you shared that I also noted here is there is, with the choice comes the responsibility and the sacrifice of um, practicing for your craft. So you mentioned how performers, not just in ballet, but also in contemporary movement, performers in general, even other artists practice or spend so much time honing that skill in their craft. So it's not simply making the choice and being brave and bold. That's the first step. But second, it should be followed through with a lot of hard work, discipline, and consistency when you make a choice to be a creative or an artist. So let's listen in kay Melissa. So how were you able to find your way, especially with your background that you have the family business and that you have there are expectations around you, and how were you able to navigate it and fight your way towards a present practice in the arts?
So when I was in college, I really wanted to take up fine arts in UP, but I ended up taking up management of applied chemistry in Ateneo. So because of the pharma business, so obviously I got super bored and everything. But I tried my best to really, satisfy my parents because they're paying for my tuition fee. So I just fixed my mindset. If life was a multiple choice, I choose the all that I love. So since I love my parents, I kind of have to satisfy being a corporate executive to continue on their business legacy. And then I really love the arts. So I just kept on doing all types of workshops. So I attended everything I could get my hands on. If I like a certain artist, I'd cold call them and ask them if I can have like a workshop with them and things like that. And then every time there's an opportunity to exhibit, I'd really, take time to create stuff, and then I'd work on the business during office hours, and then I'd do like night shift painting. So, and it just panned out nice because I don't think I'll be happy if I just completely just say no to my responsibility for my family also. So now it's kind of I'm trying to just really balance things now that I'm a mom also. Of course, it's different. So I have to find a way to be able to take care of my son while creating art and while businesses and social enterprises. So it's really that for me. Everything that I love, I try to kind of work on it. And same kami ni Ea, matigas talaga ulo namin. So people, I mean, when people say no to us, I mean, for to me, if it's really something that's important for me, I mean, there's no, and nothing can really stop us from doing something that we really absolutely love and believe in. Especially now that I've found a lot of purpose in art, because it's now like a way for the example the Tiboli community to sell their tinalak. We are able to, like, when we collaborate, we're able to sell a lot of tinalak, and it's something that's really important to me as well. So yeah, it's more balance and choosing my battles and really choosing the things that I love.
Thank you for sharing. In your narrative, no, there may be a lot of individuals who are also struggling with making the choice, and your experience tells us that we can juggle and we can always choose it as another facet of our lives that gives us an enriched and well-rounded life experience. No, you have that responsibility for the family, and then you have your artistic practice and being a mom as well. So leading a creative and artistic life can also be possible for people who already have commitments and responsibilities, and that's something that's very inspiring to know that hindi nahihinder ng responsibilities ng creativity. And I also love the fact that I think everybody in the arts are stubborn. Stubborn in a sense that hindi magpapapigil. Because arts and creativity, that passion and that feeling will always come through, and that calling will also always be there. So let's listen in kay Precious. So how did you end up being a cultural worker, an educator, and how was the journey from the rebellious years of college, choosing Philippine art as a course towards being a museum and cultural worker?
Like Ea and Melissa, stubborn din ako. Parang true talaga na lahat ng art practitioners ay stubborn. Kasi sabi ko sa parents ko, okay, please allow me not to shift. I swear, nag-negotiate kami. So, may negotiation na nangyari na, okay, please allow me to shift. I promise that I will graduate with honors na lang. So, yun na lang yung sinabi ko, negotiation. And luckily, kinagat naman nila yung negotiation na yun. So, they allowed me to shift to Philippine arts. And then, luckily then, I was able to graduate with honors para naman nabigay ko yung part ng negotiation. So, after graduating from college, hindi ko rin talaga alam kung ano yung gagawin. There was a part of me na sinasabi ko na OMG, ito na yata yung sinasabi ng parents ko na walang pera sa arts. Anong gagawin ko from here? Although I know that I want to take graduate studies. And then yun nga, biglang may nagsabi na, why don't you apply with the city government? Kasi meron silang department na kailangan nga ng cultural worker. So ako, although wala talaga akong background sa museum, sa museology, I was generously mentored by our founding director, si Ms. Cherise Aquino Togade, our curators, Ms. Sara Bendanya and Ms. Kina Kwan. Sila talaga may experiences na sila dito sa field na to, and they were very helpful na sharean ako ng kanilang knowledge na, okay, this is how you do it, this is how you network, ito yung step by step, kumbaga. They're very, very generous talaga, hands down to them, mad respect to them. And then from there, ganun lang, just follow your passion. Just like what Aya said, the doors will open for you. Just do whatever you want. Be stubborn, but be reasonably stubborn. Okay, wag lang stubborn, be reasonable then. So yeah, that's it.
I love the reasonably stubborn and all of the negotiations that led us to this path. #relate, because I also had that same negotiation with my parents who wanted me to take up accounting. And then when I was in UP, I was like, UP naman, mapayagan mo na ako mag art studies. So with that, I was able to close the deal. And here we are now talking to each other. Another nugget of wisdom that I was able to get from your sharing, Precious, is the role of mentors. And maybe that's where we can lead this part of the conversation, let's talk about the mentors as well as the support system that enabled you or allowed you to reach where you are now, not just in terms of your practice, but also in terms of the advocacies that you were able to do. Since we started with the self, where you came from, how did you end up being here, and now let's look into the immediate environment or the support system, because marami rin na young artists ang naghahanap na ano ba yung support system in this art world, not just the personal, no, but the system that supported your practice and advocacies. So let's look into the collective and the power of communities around your story that supported your practice. So let's hear from Ea.
Yeah, so community and support system. I would say that in my experience, napaka-importante of just meeting as many people as possible. I knew that yun din, like I wouldn't flat out, I would claim na from now on forwards, hindi ko gagamitin yung phrase na walang pera sa arts. That's it. Parang is there less money in the arts in the Philippines compared to other countries? Okay, then I would say yes, there's less allotted money from governmental or institutional support, but I would say there is opportunities in the arts, and my strategy, especially when I was starting out, is then I won't just engage with the dance community. I won't limit myself to just the contemporary dance community. I won't limit myself to just in my studio or in the dance studio, but rather who are the people in visual arts. And there are many different, communities also within the visual arts who could be my friends and collaborators in the music industry, not only in the mainstream music industry, but there are many different genres from world music, and you also have hip hop artists, and you have here in the Philippines also we're doing jazz. Yun, and parang that strategy had helped me. Well, one, parang it colored and it gave more depth to my own artistic practice, learning from other people in other medium and how they do what they do, how they think, being in conversation with them. But at the same time, parang, alam mo yun, parang technically freelancer ka. Yung parang ganun, kung talagang itataguyod mo. O di sige, gusto ko talaga mag full-time arts, ganyan. But then on the side, another thing pala is I'm lucky because I could teach. So that had always given me, some bread and butter, the teaching, ganyan. But yun, not all dance artists or not all artists want to teach. So alam mo yun, parang when the pandemic hit, there are no live performances. So immediately, it's not considered an essential. And not only in the Philippines, but abroad. So yun, parang I'm lucky and privileged because I could teach, then I could teach online. Then I've also made friends in that community, ganyan, or in different places where I could hold spaces and teach. So yun, I think a piece of advice is just remember that yun nga, parang you're not isolated, and I would say meron namang mga introverts na it's okay to be introverted, but also kailangan mo yung support system na yun. Like if you could also find in your community parang friends that become family for you. Yun nga, kasi like reality then in the arts field that, there's competitions, and that's a great thing. But also parang even outside of, you joining a competition, you would feel a sense of, who are your peers and, what they are achieving, where they're going, or parang who's kind of, being able to sell his or her work like at a much larger price. Like these things are part of the territory. It comes with the territory, and parang you're going to deal with your own jealousies and your own envy and your own insecurity even, because sometimes parang the artworks are chosen by a producer or a presenter or a curator, and sometimes you don't get chosen, and that's just the way it is. Parang ganyan. So it's a lot of from the tenacity and stubbornness, reasonable stubbornness, which I also like. I also like the word reasonable. Pag tumatanda ka na parang, yeah, you gotta be reasonable. You really do. Pero yun nga, what would carry you through the whole, being in the game is where is home for you? How do you regenerate your own energy for wanting to keep on being creative, to keep on ganyan? And that's your support system. That's really people you could trust. Yeah. So yeah, keep meeting people, keep having new friends, ganyan, and diversify, like not only in your field. So that's a strategy that I use. And yeah, that I'd like to share.
Nice. This is actually what I just asked you as a question from our viewer. Just a shout out to Ariel, Roma, Angela, who asked this question. And what I got from Aya sharing, no, communities can be composed of the people that we meet and the institution that support the arts. We can tap into different energies of different members of the community to help us progress in this journey. May it be fellow practitioners, may it be support institutions, marami dyan, to help you in your career or to pursue your career. So let's hear from Melissa. How was your journey and who were your support system at that time? Especially maraming mga painters also na nagtatanong, and what is also different from your experience is your relationship with the community. So how was it finding support system for that kind of advocacy and practice?
So in the beginning, it was the art teachers that really helped me. And then when I was in high school, I went to this orphanage and I kind of tried to teach them the things that I learned in the workshop. And I thought I was helping them, but they were the ones who really helped me. The street children and the orphans, they gave me so much reason to live because I was really depressed at that time. They gave me so much, they really gave me so much love. And it's something that I still carry in my heart until now. So the communities that we serve, they really give us so much back in return, even if we don't know it in the beginning. So a lot of artists and then the indigenous people. So in college, I was more active in going around indigenous communities, and that's something that really gave something unique also to my art. Like a lot of indigenous weavers and then the things that I learned. Because when you go to communities, they really love performing and really showing their culture. So it's something that I really draw inspiration from. That like now I'm really with the Tivoli community, and then right now I'm also very inspired by the art community in Tarlac. So I got a lot of gigs last year, and it's really important to also create opportunities for other people. So that's something that's really inspiring. And now that I see them organizing their own exhibits, it's so nice that they're also sharing their talents to other artists that we weren't able to reach in the beginning. So there, then this is like a nice give and take. And my if there's like one suggestion, it's really to surround yourself with people who are positive and reasonably reasonably hard-headed. And so it's really nice to be around people like that.
Thank you for that sharing. I appreciate the thought or the notion of, support system isn't a one-way thing. It isn't also just in a form of economic exchange, but it's actually also energy exchange. People can provide support and be supported in various ways. Like when you work with the community, it's not just like we're helping the community, ganyan, ganyan, but really the community also nurtures you, gives you something back, and it keeps you in touch and grounded. And that is actually also the essence of why we are all here and why we are alive, to be connected with one another. And that is also a way to reframe the notion of support system, to understand and look deeper into the meaning of what is support, and to be empowered to also know that you can support or give support or value to others through your energy as well. And so let's ask Precious, the reasonably stubborn member of our panel. Parang yun yung magiging hashtag natin for this afternoon. So how was your support system within the cultural work, and also some of the advocacies that you established or are currently working on right now? How was it finding support system for those initiatives?
Like what I've mentioned earlier, I've had mentors. Yeah, three empowered women din sila na very generous na, okay, these are the books that you have to read. Basahin mo yan ha, makakatulong yan sa field mo, ganyan. These are the people that you want to connect with because they will be able to help you. They can help you sometime in the future. But aside from that, I get support system from my workmates also because sa office namin, parang ako lang yung tatanging cultural worker na talaga may background sa cultural heritage in terms of educational background. So they trust me enough na, okay, kaya mo yan, mahirap yan, pero kailangan to ng office natin, we believe in you. So yung ganong mga factors, malaking tulong din yon sa mga art practitioners and cultural workers. But I want to highlight yung support na nakukuha ko rin namin sa community through the programs that we produce. Makikita namin yung engagement nila na natutuwa sila na, oh, we feel honored. There was one project that I launched last year, 2021. Yeah, 2021. It's 2020. So it's called Museo Community. Munting Istorya siya na campaign. So in that program, we would ask our community on Facebook na, okay, share with us your stories, your photos, old photos na from Muntinlupa, and tell us a bit narrative about that story, about that photo. And then they would send in their photos, old photos, tapos popost namin sa Facebook, and mag-engage yung other people na, ay, alam namin yung place na yan, dito yan dati naglalaro kami dyan. Yung mga ganong support, even those small comments na nakukuha namin, it's very heartwarming, and very overwhelming yung support na nakukuha namin sa community, na kahit ganon kaliliit yung acts na ginagawa namin, na-appreciate nila, and they are kumbaga nagto-throwback din sila together with us and those na talaga nag-send ng mga photos na yun. So yeah, it's really the community that I want to highlight in terms of support system. It's really them that yung reason kung bakit hanggang ngayon ay nandito pa rin ako sa Museo ng Muntinlupa, because you know naman na-mention ni Lalaine kanina that I am pursuing law studies. So syempre, I want to become a lawyer, but then I'm still here because I know that I still have a purpose. I can still help the community through the city government. So why not stay? Why I still have the time, and why the bosses still trust me, my workmates still trust me, diba? So that's it. That is my support system.
What an inspiring conversation to have, no, that our immediate community may not be our family, may not be just our friends, but the people who we interact with every day, and our imagined community outside of work, you know, the people out there who engage with us, who engage with the institutions and the programs that we have, are part of that support system. So by simply engaging, conversing with our fellow creatives, cultural workers, communities, it's part of enriching this bigger art world that we have. And that's, I guess, how we will survive in the future. That's the way to survival. And so let us go to your advocacies already. Do share with us what are you currently doing right now, or any advocacy that you're doing with your immediate community, or any program that you'd like for our viewers to know paano ba ang isang creative ay nagiging isang community enabler or working with the community. So share with us your advocacy. So from La Union, Ea?
Yeah, I would say, even though this is my third year, that I'm still rooting. Um, I've worked with a group of people who does everyday beach cleanups at like 5 a.m. in the morning, and they keep the beach clean. We all know that La Union is, since it's a surf town and it's really, a place for tourism and parang weekend nights, it's like poblacion but with a beach, yung parang ganyan. And I don't say that in a derogatory manner. Like I love to party sometimes, but yeah, but with many tourists, there's also so much trash. Um, yeah, and gentrification was just really fast. It happened really fast. I think the last 9 years. So there's a group of people called the Lumpinas Oeste Eco Rangers who does daily beach cleanups. And then just last year, a good friend of mine, Leroy, who's also like a maid awardee, 8 years ago or something like that. He was here and he visited, and I said, let's do something. Plus also, I was invited by a German choreographer by the name of Christoph Winkler. Then he said, "Oh, we're gonna do this project. We're commissioning short films, and we want one from the Philippines. And we can do anything. We have all creative freedom as long as it's related to the environment." And I said, "Okay, cool." So my partner is a videographer and cinematographer. So I was like, "Okay, maybe Leroy will, okay, we get all of these plastic bottles that are gotten from the beach cleanups. Leroy will make costumes. I'll do a little bit of choreography and also writing for film. And then it's my partner who's going to do the filming. So it's a combination of interviews and then dance. That was just asking about how it's like to be a dancer during the pandemic, to be displaced during the pandemic, and also to live and transport your life from what was and now closer to nature. And then we just envision the world we're in. What if in that world, nature and plastic are coexisting in an odd but really beautiful way? So we still, even though it's a set of interviews, we still had visually for people to interpret the film, the way they'd like to interpret it. Yeah, and also another good friend of mine is Isa Hoxton. She's a performance artist, but most of her work is based abroad. But she finally, during the pandemic, rooted in the Philippines and then moved to La Union. So she's one of the dancers. I would say, so that's one project. Another project is I've put up several healing retreats here that uses Daloy movement, and I wanted na parang there are some teachers who are based in other places, and then some of the teachers are based here in our locals. So yeah, just I'm still in the process of thinking in terms of how in the future projects it's engaging the more locals who are local residents here, and those who are migrants, either they're migrants from Manila or other places. And how can it be? It's not just dancing, but it's a lot of exchange through conversation, and it's a lot of ayun, and even just have other artistic practices that will color the conversation. Ayun, in terms of community engagement and how I think it's always important to have that mindset of, oh, I'm not someone who's, who knows all of these things and I'm bringing it here and it's going to better the community because now I shared what I know. But rather it's, I know that everyone knows something and something great and unique from where they're coming from. So we're going to sit in a circle and we're all equals and let's just share food or let's just share stories, ganyan, or just sit under the full moon. So yun, so these are things that I think I'm still in the process of learning and also holding space for. We also recently, just last month, had guest teachers. They're from Cavite, but they help farms. Their name is Farm Lab, and they help big farms, like really hectares of farms. And now they're in Siargao, how to do regenerative farming. And we're trying to slowly also teach our neighbors or the local community here how to grow their own food just from their backyard, and actually use that for cooking. Ganyan. So yeah, projects that are around, homesteading, ganyan, and sustainability, parang sustainability kahit muna sa really personal sense. And ayun, gusto ko rin yung sinabi kanina na yeah, thinking of resources that are not only limited to the monetary, but also an energetic resource, to be emotionally well, that you are resourced and resourced in a way that you have good relationships around you that keeps you feeling supported. I think it's important din yun. So, ayun, yun. Yeah, I'm still, gusto ko rin sinabi ni Melissa na the community also helps you grow, like expands you, parang ganun. And I'm just, well, yun nga, very domesticated. Just, tawag dun. Parang nag-move yung creative and artistic practice ko to, wow, I want to be human. Yung parang ganun. Like, I just want to be human and humanize myself even more because I think that leads to even more me understanding how I could be humane. And I mean, share that with others. Parang ganun. So, ayun, La Union has been that place that's helping me with that.
I love it. Shout out to our creative community in La Union. In your journey, it's really nice to also acknowledge that it's actually uprooting and taking root. That's also a unique facet of your artistic journey to relocate and reestablish and take foundation in a new community, in a new space. And this allows you to kumbaga, a fresh start and to also reintegrate your values with the community values. It's like, in a sense, co-creating through communing with your current community kung anong pangailangan nung community where you are now and the creatives that are there, and inviting more creatives to actually collaborate and co-create in that space is something that is really wonderful, that creates an enriching art ecosystem locally and in the larger community. So that's a really good insight from your story. So let's ask naman Melissa, among the many advocacies, do let us know what you've been doing, how were you able to manage the artistic practice. In the introduction, there are so many possibilities that are actually happening for you right now in terms of your art practice. So do share it with our
Yes.
audience.
So right now, we just finished the first Tarlac Art Fair last October, and then from there we noticed that some of the municipalities, particularly the one I'm in, there weren't a lot of artists, so we looked for them and tried to have artist talks and small workshops, and then we just finished the Victoria Art Fair, and then the first all Tarlac fashion show for Tarlac designers, and then now the artists are mounting their own exhibits. So it's just really creating opportunities and space for people and to really shine. So I think that's something that I really, really love doing, to really create that, to let people know that there's somebody who believes in them and there's a way to get things done. So from there, we're also teaching artists. The next steps would be to teach them how to really present to galleries, how to be professional, and not waste the opportunity since it's there already. Those things. And then aside from that, we have a lot of projects with different artisans around the country. So there's something I learned while traveling all over the Philippines pre-pandemic. Really miss that. We have so many. I'm sure Precious would know this, like cultural heritage, our crafts, our artisanry. It's really something else. So I have this thing with dyeing crafts. They're not supposed to die because they're beautiful. So I'm trying to, like example, the Palawan Tingkap basket. It's actually here now in the Mabini 1335 shop, my mini plug. So we're highlighting them, that the Tinalak is something that really means so much to me because it's one of the first communities that I visited, and they called me during the pandemic to say that they need money to buy bigas because there are no tourists and that's their main source of income in Lake Cebu, South Cotabato. So they sent me something else. Honestly, in the beginning, I bought it out of pity, But now that it's really integrated to my art, I'm really buying it because we need it and there's demand for it. So it's that to make the communities know that they're precious. They have something to offer, and it's our job as cultural workers and as artists to use ourselves and our art as a medium to uplift these communities, to inspire people, and to really create livelihood also, and to look beyond ourselves and to look at the needs of the community. And in my case, it was a win-win situation. I thought I was helping them, but again, like how my life is, every time I try to help people, they're the ones that actually help me. And I have a full exhibit right now that's happening. If you hear clinking of the glasses, because we'll have drinks later during the opening. Them that really enriched my art. So it's that. Yeah.
Thank you for that sharing. No, it's really the role of communing with the community that enriches all our practice, and that is something that we can get from the experiences of our panel for this afternoon. So being open to creating new opportunities with new people is also a way towards finding your path and your advocacy. So let's hear from Precious about the advocacies that you're currently engaged in, both in Museo, and you also mentioned other advocacies that you're doing with fellow creatives and artists.
Dami kong time, no? Pero hindi talaga. So like Maid, meron din kami sa Museo ng Muntinlupa. We also have Museo Talakayan and Museo Artist Talk. So we invite, for Museo Talakayan, we invite historians and researchers to talk about the history and culture in Muntinlupa. And for Artist Talk, we invite naman artists, local artists in Muntinlupa to share about their experiences and life as artists. And then one of my maybe proudest projects, one of my projects here in Museo ng Muntinlupa was the call for artists that we did in October of last year. So nag-call for Muntinlupa artists kami on Facebook, then wherein they will sign up through a Google form, ganyan, mag-register lang sila. And then sobrang overwhelming ng mga comments nila na thank you for giving us a platform, thank you for appreciating us. Sana po mas makatulong pa yung government sa amin kasi kailangan po namin talaga ng tulong. Sana po makapag-perform kami sa museo, makapunta kami sa museo. Those kinds of comments, sobrang nakakatuwa, nakaka-uplift siya, nakapag-burnout na kami dito sa museum dahil puro work, paulit-ulit yung every month may mga webinar. Kapag nakakarinig kami ng ganong comments from the people, parang, oh, it's worth it din naman. May mga nakaka-appreciate din naman sa atin. Hindi lang tayo yung nakaka-appreciate sa work na ginagawa natin. And then outside my day job naman, outside the museum, I'm also partnering with my friends from college. May gagawin kaming podcast channel for art and mindfulness. Actually, there was a concern on that kasi sabi ng friend, it was originally art and mental health. But then sabi ng isa kong classmate, baka magkaroon tayo ng negative feedback kasi parang ini-equate lang natin yung art and mental health whereas hindi naman talaga. Alam naman natin that the issue on mental health is very big as compared to art. Pero hindi naman natin para i-compare the two issues. So sabi niya, why don't we focus on art and mindfulness na lang? So ayan, I'm partnering with Chris Ann. She's from the British Council naman. Si Josh from a local cosmetic line in the Philippines. And Nick from a gallery here in the Metro Manila. So aside from that, we call our group the Mindful Art Project. So aside from that, I am also partnering with my fellow cultural workers here and researchers in Muntinlupa. So sabi ko nga, hindi naman kami ganun karami here. So I thought, why don't we gather? And why don't we make a non-government organization that is focused on nurturing, preserving, promoting our cultural and historical heritage? Because although very supportive naman ang city government namin sa ganitong field, why don't we make our own move? Why, 'di ba? Parang hindi naman tayo dapat mag-depend lagi sa governments. Why don't we start our own, and they're very, very supportive. And hopefully, ma-launch na namin ang organization this year, and hopefully makatap pa kami ng mas maraming researchers and cultural workers in our community. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So it's inspiring also to know that beyond the work that we do, we still function as, creatives and as part of the community, and to expand our practice to other advocacies that we feel very strongly about, such as art and mindfulness. So our second to the last question, kasi yung last, I'm gonna ask you to promote your platforms and socials para we invite people to come together pa and engage more. But second to the last question is about how maybe your advice to our listeners or viewers, young artists, on how can they use their talent, their creativity, their passion to help communities. So in the same manner that you're utilizing yours right now, your practice, your community, your network, to pursue advocacy. So maybe how can young artists start, is something that we can leave or pabaon to those who are watching us this afternoon. Something inspiring to end their Saturday. Simulan na ulit natin kay Ea.
Mag-unmute na dapat ako eh. na-feel ko na si, Lalaine.
Energy.
Oo, na-feel ko na. Yeah, okay. So, this may seem counterintuitive, because we're talking about, how to keep making work that engages community even more, that gives back to the community, that, in some way betters the world. But at the top of my head, and actually deep in my heart, is really take care of yourself. That's it. You're a young artist, take care of yourself. As in, take care of yourself, take care of your spirit, take care of your body, take care of your mind. Yung parang because at the end of the day, tawag dun, especially we're slowly opening up, like from a really, really close lockdown. There is anxiety that comes with that. There is anxiety, that comes with, gosh, I could do something, so I want to do everything. I want my art to not only be good, but it should matter, it should have impact, it should be this, but then at the same time I should make friends, stay connected, but then at the same time I should have enough money, that I'm financially stable. And then at the same time there's this, it's my mom's birthday this Saturday. Like, it's a lot, it's really a lot. As in, parang we've never been this desensitized by a lot of images that we see every day. Like in the 90s, we only have one TV, and we know that there are several channels, but we could be easily distracted by our phones and messages and notifications. We're living in a world wherein energetically we're just spread too thin, and there's just so much expectations, especially when we're coming out of school, of a traditional school, that's just implanted in our head how we have to be excellent. That's it. And if you're not excellent, you're almost like you're nothing, you're mediocre. That's a lot of pressure. And I would say up until our 30s, or even beyond, that we're gonna have to heal from. We're gonna have to, is this, really how I want to live? And if there's anything that this pandemic had taught me, it's like, death is real. It's real. And our life is short. And I know that, an antidote to that death is creating something beautiful, creating art. Yeah, and letting it extend just beyond the satisfying thing on a personal level, but that has impact. But to do that, and to do that sustainably, we have to take care of ourselves. So that's it, take care of yourself. Yeah.
I love it. Na-feel ko yung internal chatter. That's also happening somewhere here. And I think everyone experiences it also. And I also love the, yung to create is divine. since we are all, let's acknowledge that we are still undergoing so many massive changes, and with that we have to be gentle with ourselves so that we will be able to help others as well. So it's really a process of exchange and taking care of our own vessel for us to function as part of a whole, because we are. And again, that's how we may be able to, win over the life that we have right now. So let's move on to Melissa. Any advice to our young artists who are thinking, paano ba akong magiging part of that advocacy or push for helping the community in my own way as a creative?
Yeah, so totally agree with self-care, because if you're not okay, nothing will be okay around you. So, and also to go beyond the self, of course, to make sure you're okay, diba? And then, like in Tarlac right now, it's so nice because the young artists that we got to talk to, they're looking around their communities, like the trees that fell during the typhoon, they're turning it into carvings. And then, like right now, one of the young artists in Tarlac Bay, he's looking into the old bamboo weavers. So this is there in their barangay. So he's looking into turning them into sculptures. So those things, I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's like, actually, the more creative and resourceful you are, the better. Sorry about the noise. People are starting to come. I was opening, trying to wing it with the situation. But yeah, so it's really there, looking around you, and actually, those things would actually even help you create even more unique pieces, something that's close to you, like a livelihood project, or a local artisan around you that you can possibly collaborate with, or something like that, or recyclable, upcycled things. Just to really look around your immediate community, since we can't travel now. There are a lot of things that you can actually do, and surround yourself with positive people, not so much the marites na toxic. Diba? So because that would zap out energy. So really being conscious with who you surround yourself with. I'm very that's what I got more, is that I kind of try to be better at editing the people around me. So even, and that's also the kind of energy that we pass on. Like the art community in Tarlac, it's so positive now. Nobody's allowed. It's supposed to be a supportive system, and that's how I'm very protective of that also. So the young artists won't be traumatized with the mga siraan and things like that. Really need to be strong and to really safeguard that beautiful energy.
I'm learning so much this afternoon about protecting your energy as a way of communing with the community. Parang how the people around you contributes to the betterment of the self, and how you yourself can also contribute to other people's betterment through energy exchange. And actively choosing a nurturing environment is something that is of great importance, and a realization talking to inspiring creatives such as the three of you. So, Precious, do let us know your narrative of engagement also.
First of all, like kanina pa natin sinasabi, be reasonably stubborn. If you want to be stubborn, be reasonably stubborn. Huwag ka lang, uh, punta lang sa giyera na wala ka namang bala, na wala ka namang weapon. You have to, because there will be doubters, okay? Our friends, even our family, like sa akin nga, although I love my parents so much, I love my family, but hindi naman natin matatanggal sa kanila that they will doubt us na yung field na gusto natin gawin kasi iba yung generation natin sa generation nila. Let's accept that fact. But then you have to be your greatest cheerleader and believer sa lahat ng bagay, because we want other people or someone to save us from our misery or kung ano man ang gusto nating makamit sa buhay. But then you have to save yourself. You have to be your biggest believer. Pangalawa, you don't, medyo arguable ito, but you don't have to prove yourself. You just have to just keep working on yourself. Go out there, make connections, grab opportunities such as this. Watch webinars like this. Online naman ito, digital age na tayo. And then grab opportunities without hurting anyone, because there's nothing more laudable than someone or something who rose with integrity and honesty. And then lastly, take part in social activities and community activities, because we need people like you. Hindi namin kaya to ng kami lang. Because time will come, mawala na rin kami ng energy, mawala na rin kami ng resources. Sino ba ang aasahan namin kung hindi katulad nyo rin na nangangarap sa ganitong field? So please take part and, just take part. We just need you.
Wow, what a way to end the discussion, no? Through a call for action to the next generation after us. Even if we're young pa naman, but to prepare the next generation that energy exchange is continuous. It doesn't stop, energy exchange within us and with the earth. Energy is continuously flowing, and this is something that we can get going as we learn and relearn to commune with the new normal that we have. And with that, we hope everybody is inspired, got your notes ready for your own life path plan as a creative. And so before we say goodbye and thank you to our panel, I would like to invite you to please do plug in all your socials, your advocacies, your communities, whatever you're doing right now that you'd like to invite our viewers. Hindi ko na siya tatawagin kasi feeling ko din nararamdaman na rin niya yung energy na siya na yung first dun sa latag ng ating plugging. Miss Ea, do invite our viewers and listeners to any of anything that you'd like to plug in that they can support at the comfort of their home, or if you have any events happening there in La Union, please do share with us.
Yeah, so by end of May, we're gonna have a weekend of qigong, tai chi. We're gonna have dance, meditation, and it's also considered like a silent retreat. I mean, we could talk, but we also just no phones, and then we just are more we have sands on our feet and just the sunset. Well, also, yeah, that's it. I'm just on Instagram as Torrado and also Facebook as Torrado. Yeah, Daloy Dance Company, but we're just project based, and we're seeing if live performances will be back. But other than that, yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and yeah, I'm up and game for any collaboration. I'm mainly just homemaking and homesteading. And also looking forward to eventually being able to teach that and share that with other people. Like I really feel there's something so empowering when you grow your own food and you eat it, and parang ayun lang. It's so great to meet you, Melissa and Precious.
Thank you also, Aya, for sharing your advocacies and your healing energies with us. So, Melissa, si Melissa na nasa opening, do share with us what's really going on, and just, invite and promote your platforms in this webinar.
Okay, so right now, it's happening here, 1335 Mabini is our exhibit. So please come and visit. And also in Tarlac, we just finished the Vicaria Art Fair, but Ugat exhibit, it's initiated by the Tarlac Arts. I'm super proud of them. It's currently it will open on the 22nd of March at Diwa ng Tarlac. So actually, Diwa ng Tarlac is already booked for the whole year. So you can come by anytime, and so much art happening. And we're also launching the first ever Central Luzon Art Fair this October. So please watch out for that. We really want to make noise in Central Luzon because we feel like it needs more promotion, and we're getting a lot of support so far. So thanks. My IG is at Melissa Yeung Yap. And then if you go to Facebook, you can check out Tarlac Art Fair, and you'll get to know all about the exhibits happening in Tarlac. So please come and visit. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, shout out to the creatives and artist community in Tarlac. Nag-shout out tayo kanina sa La Union. Ngayon mag-shout out tayo sa Tarlac. We're very excited for what's to come. We're very excited to see the art community as well. All of the happenings. Art is indeed alive. You go, guys. And from the art community in Tarlac, punta naman ulit tayo sa Muntinlupa. Shout out to the creatives and art community there. So Precious, invite all of our guests in all of your advocacies and communities that you'd like to support.
Yes, thank you. On March 24, we will be having our very first webcast. It's Museo Talakayan. 27 taon ng lakas, talino at buhay with the father of Muntinlupa Cityhood. That's 2 o'clock in the afternoon via Zoom also. That I will be moderating that program as well. We also have a webcast on March 31 titled Her Story is My Story. Kind of like this, pero parang 2 women lang siya na then and now, yung story before and then story now. So ganon. And then I'm also writing an exhibit that we hope to launch this year, but I cannot disclose it right now. Baka pagalitan ako ng bosses ko. And then I also want to promote our passion project, the Mindful Art Project. Please do follow us on Facebook and Instagram, the Mindful Art Project, and Museo ng Muntinlupa on Facebook and Instagram as well. I also want to connect with more people. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook through Precious Eric Iñosa. Okay, thank you.
And with that, we would like to thank all of our panelists, our women, empowered, rebellious women panelists, for joining us this afternoon, for sharing your energies, your inspiring stories, and your narratives of your journey towards the creative industry and community building as well. So it's really a good way to spend your Saturday by sharing the positive energies with us and with our audience as well. So muli, maraming salamat to our panelists. We hope to see you soon, someday, as we begin to open the art world, no, to more people. So maraming salamat.
Reasonably rebellious.
And with that, thank you to everyone who also sent in their questions and comments. We are happy to share the 2021 Made Art Catalog and Bio Art Mask to those who were able to ask our questions and comments for this afternoon. So congratulations to Ariel, Roma, Angela, Eloida Domingo, and Minerva Buffet for communing and communicating and sharing your comments in this afternoon's conversation. And last week, we also asked our followers to complete the sentence, I pledge to blank. And we received a lot of inspiring answers from you guys. So let's just give a shout out to those who participated in this post. Eudistera Medenilia said she pledges to be responsible with his thoughts and his actions. Snaps, we agree. Rome Asuncion pledges to honor women from all walks of life. So again, happy Women's Month, everyone. And Beyonce Reboya pledges to vote wisely this coming election. And as a small token of appreciation, Made would like to share with you a limited edition Bio Art Mask and the 2021 Made Catalog. Please do send us a message to claim your prize. And that's it for this month's Art Made Public. We hope today's episode helped you realize that your creativity is your superpower. We can all do something to make this world a better place. Let's continue the kwentuhan online. Like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Metrobank Art and Design. Visit madeartdepot.ph to learn more about our programs. If you would like to request a certificate for attending today's event, please do message us or visit us in the comment section for the request form. Again, thank you everyone for always supporting Made. Please stay tuned on our pages for updates about our future art events. We have a lot more planned for you this year and we will be seeing you again very, very soon. Keep safe at marami pong salamat.
Maligayang pagdating sa Museo ng Muntinlupa.
Ang Museo ng Muntinlupa ay pinasinayaan noong ika-1 ng Marso taong 2019. Ito ay matatagpuan sa Centennial Avenue, Barangay Tunasan, lungsod ng Muntinlupa. Ang museo ay may 5 palapag, may mga espasyo para sa mga eksibisyon at pagtitipon. Tara, samahan niyo kami sa paglibot sa ating museo.
May 3 permanent galleries ang matatagpuan sa museo na tumatalakay sa kasaysayan ng Muntinlupa. Narito tayo ngayon sa Buhay Gallery kung saan pinapakita kung ano nga ba ang buhay sa Muntinlupa bago ang kolonyalismo hanggang sa panahon ng mga Kastila. Bago naman tayo dumako sa ating ikalawang gallery, ay madadaanan muna natin ang isang tunnel. Ang tunnel na ito ang nagpapakita kung ano nga ba ang itsura ng Muntinlupa at ng buong Pilipinas noong panahon ng mga Amerikano. Sa paglipas ng panahon, unti-unting umunlad ang Muntinlupa. Naging bahagi ito ng iba't ibang probinsya at naging ganap na munisipalidad noong 1917. Dahil malapit ang Muntinlupa sa Maynila, nilipat dito ang ilang mga importanteng institusyon gaya ng malalaking laboratorio at pambansang piitan.
Noong dekada 60, naging parte ng industrialisasyon ang Muntinlupa na pinagtibay pa ng pagbubukas ng South Superhighway na ngayon ay tinatawag natin South Luzon Expressway. Ika-1 ng Marso taong 1995 nang idineklara ang Muntinlupa bilang isang highly urbanized city sa pamamagitan ng Republic Act 7926. Ang patuloy na pag-unlad ng Muntinlupa ay dahil sa mga responsable nitong mamamayan at epektibong pamamahala.
Museo ng Muntinlupa was envisioned by Mayor Jaime R. Fresnedi long before the celebration of the city centennial in 2017. Ang Muntinlupa ay tahanan ng mga aspiring artists at makulay na kasaysayan. Kaya naman ipinatayo ng ating butihing mayor ang Museo ng Muntinlupa upang mas pagyamanin, bigyang higit halaga at buhayin ang kasaysayan, kultura at sining, hindi lamang ng ating lungsod, ngunit ng ating bansa.
Ang pagdidisenyo ng isang museo ay malaking hamon bilang isang arkitekto. Natatangi ang mga museo dahil kailangan nitong ipakita at ipagmalaki ang mayamang kultura at kasaysayan ng lungsod. Ang konsepto ng Museo ng Muntinlupa ay hango sa baklad. Karaniwan, ito ay makikita sa lawa ng Laguna de Bae. Ang Museo ng Muntinlupa ang magbibigay daan sa pagpapakilala ng mayamang sining, kultura at arkitektura ng ating lungsod.
Makikita sa palapag na ito ang mga changing exhibitions ng ating museo. ang Munting Bata Exhibit at ang Muntiang Lungsod Exhibit. Ang nag-curate ng mga ito ay ang aming founding director na si Miss Charissa Kinotogade. Ang Munting Bata Exhibit ay nagbukas noong 2019 kasabay ng pagpapasinayang sa ating museo. Ito ay nagkukwento tungkol sa dalawang magkababata na kapwa lumaki sa Muntinlupa.
Ipamamala sa Lunti ang Lungsod Exhibit ang mayamang biodibersidad ng Muntinlupa. Ipakikita rito ang iba't ibang klase ng mga hayop sa lungsod, mga uri ng lupa, mga anyong tubig, halaman at iba pa. Magpapakita rin dito ng mga paraan upang mapangalagaan ang ating biodibersidad at kapaligiran.
Apart from the galleries, the museum also hosts a conference center and a state-of-the-art museum theater. This theater can host film showings and performances. Again, we would like to thank you for joining us on the Museo ng Muntinlupa virtual tour. We hope to see you soon once the museum opens.